Hello folks, my name is Mark. This is Why I Hate the World. So, ex-president Sphincter-Mouth McBurgerfuck has decided to bite the bullet and run for president again in a move that has surprised absolutely nobody on earth. I'm seeing some mixed reaction, most of it negative, which really surprises me, especially from the Republicans. The establishment Republicans really don't want him to run because, the Trump name is kind of toxic now. And I think they understand that if Donald Trump, wins the primary, which he probably will, he will get annihilated in the election, right? And that, I think, is causing a bit of anxiety from the establishment Republican types because they know that the base is still there, right? And that's definitely going to work out to our advantage, work out to the advantage of the Democrats, and I think will be better for the nation overall, right? So, as we all saw, right, in this last midterm elections, the Republicans didn't do as well as everybody thought they would. Looks like they still might actually pull out a win in the House, but they actually lost a Senate seat. The Democrats have managed to retain the Senate, and overall their performance was rather lackluster. It was the red dribble, right, instead of the red wave. And a lot of that had to do, I think, with Donald Trump and the toxicity that the Trump brand has brought to the Republicans, right? I mean, let's not forget, we saw what Donald Trump brought to the table, right? And in this last midterm election, all of the Trump Republicans that ran, people like Carrie Lake, they got trounced, right? I mean, probably the only one that has a chance of actually like winning the election is Herschel Walker, and he still came in behind. And he's probably going to lose his runoff now. And the Republicans that actually did, manage to get themselves elected were people that stood against Donald Trump. People that were not Trump Republicans, right? So if Donald Trump were to announce a year ago, I would have been a little more, worried, right? A little more afraid that he might actually get reelected. And now, not so much anymore, right? Because here's the thing, folks, right? We saw what Donald Trump brings to the table, right? We lived through 4 years of Trump, the daily scandals, right? The utter ridiculousness of his everyday just shenanigans, right? I don't think a day went by where Donald Trump wasn't in the news and wasn't in the middle of some mini scandal like every single day, sometimes hourly. Just ridiculous things happening over and over again. Donald Trump ripping off different cities, not paying them after his rallies. Him appointing people like Scaramucci and having them disappear like a week later. Either quit or resign, or Trump would fire them. Like so soon. He would just go through cabinet members and helpers and staff members like it was nothing, right? And getting in fights with celebrities on Twitter, saying stupid racist shit on Twitter all the time, hanging out with fucking dictators, love letters with fucking Kim Jong Un and all this other bullshit, right? It was just, daily ridiculous scandals and shenanigans, things that would tank any other presidency, happened on a daily basis during the Trump presidency. Then the guy gets impeached, and then like after he loses the election, right, tries to forcibly take over the country. Let's not forget that shit happened. Let's not forget, that they basically tried to steal the presidency after they lost the election in pretty much he lost in a landslide, and then he gets impeached again after he's no longer president. I think that's a record. I don't think there's ever been a president who's been impeached after he left office like Donald Trump, right? So that's what we saw. We saw what the Trump presidency brings. And do you really think anybody who voted in 2020 against Donald Trump is going to change their mind and vote for him, especially after January 6th happened? Do you think any of those people are going to vote for him? Because here's the thing, right? He may have the Republican base, that 30% or so of Republicans or whatever that will ensure that he wins the nomination, right, through the Republican primary. That's not enough people to win him the election, right? He can't win an election without the independents and without some number of Democrats choosing to vote for him, like they did in 2016. Okay, let's not forget that. The reason why Donald Trump won in 2016 is because there were Democrats who voted for him. There were Democrats who did not like Hillary Clinton, right? And people who voted for Bernie Sanders, people who voted for Obama, and did not like Hillary Clinton, and they jumped ship to Donald Trump. In 2020, those people didn't vote for his ass, right? He lost by like 8 million votes. That is a gigantic number of people, okay? He didn't just squeak by and lose that election by like one or two. He fucking got annihilated in 2020, right? Do you think any of those people, after 4 years of Trump, after January 6th, after all of the things that he's done post his, all of the scandals he's been in post presidency, right? With things like, the top secret document thievery, right? Scandal that he's involved in, the top secret documents at Mar-a-Lago, stuff like that, Do you think any of those people are going to sit there and go, you know what? I miss Donald Trump. I think I'll vote for him. No, fuck no. Fuck no. He'll get destroyed, right? Especially looking at this last midterms. When you look at this last midterms, a giant portion of the people who voted were Gen Z people, right? Those are kids who are between the ages of like 18 to 24 or whatever, people who were born in from 1998 until now, right? Are any of those people going to vote for Donald Trump? Do you really think so? Do you think any of those kids who voted in this last election for Democrats in order to defeat Trump-like Republicans are going to turn around and vote for Donald Trump in 2 years? Hell no. Okay. If he becomes the nominee and he runs for president against Joe Biden, he will get annihilated, right? He will lose by like 15, 20 million votes. It won't even be close, right? The establishment Republicans know this, and they're shitting their pants right now because they're in a no-win situation. If they pull out all the stops and stop Donald Trump from getting that nomination, then the base will abandon them, and if they run like Ron DeSantis or something, Trump's base will abandon them and they'll lose, right? If they ignore it and allow Donald Trump to steamroll them like he did in 2016 and get the nomination again, when comes the general, they will get absolutely fucking destroyed, right? And since they didn't win in this midterm, they don't have the ability to rig it in their favor. They're screwed. So, I kind of maybe that'll be the best possible outcome for the country. Donald Trump goes, destroys Ron DeSantis, knocks him out of the running, gets the nomination, and then just gets utterly annihilated in the next election. That's my prediction, okay? I'm not afraid of him winning, right? He lost the first, in 2016, he lost the popular vote by a lot, right? In 2020, he lost by a gigantic margin. I don't see any way of him winning, pulling out a win. There would have to be a miracle on his side. They would have to, and I see no path to victory for him. Now, of course, there's always that small percent. I mean, I was, let's face it, I was wrong in 2016. I thought he was going to lose then too. So, I don't know. Maybe in 4 years I'll be coming back here and eating my own words, but I don't fucking think so. So I think Donald Trump just did the country a giant favor by volunteering to lose in 2024. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, folks, that's all I got. Adios.